time to fade out on Chrono Cross. The game that I both simultaneously love and hate. It's a good RPG. It's a really unique battle system. Outstanding music, as you just heard. But it is not a Chrono Trigger game at all. It is something that they admitted they shoehorned, like, oh, let's take two elements from Chrono Trigger and shoehorn them in at the end. It's a Chrono Trigger game. It's like, no, it's not. So yeah. So, but I mean, like, definitely when you get to like the end of Chrono Cross, so it's like you learn that like not only that dimension that they're in, but like alternate realities are in like immediate threat of destruction. So the whole thing, like, about, you know, you mentioned, like, Shortster, like, the theme of, like, the world ending, so what the music kind of conveys is pretty spot on. But, yeah, it's not really a Chrono Trigger game. It's a good RPG, but it's not Chrono Trigger. But, yeah, but another thing that's not Chrono Trigger is Super Mario RPG. Oh, back to this game. I was going to be playing it yesterday, but then a little game called My Friend Pedro was released, and I played that for a couple hours yesterday and was highly disappointed. After all that workup and release, and it's just not a good game. There's elements of a good game in there. Here's Sarah's screen. It really, really needs to have like a level editor type deal, like Super Mario Sunshine, not Sunshine, Super Mario Maker, or Mario Maker, I should say. It really needs that. Basically, it's kind of like a run and gun game. It has elements of Max Payne where you can slow down the time and pretty much do whatever you want type deal. But the physics of it are extremely wonky. Aiming is all over the place. You can aim your guns at somebody, like two machine guns, unload both your magazines and not kill them or hit them at all. And they're going to hit you with precision every single time. So it's really, really frustrating. So it's like it could have been so much better if they just worked on a couple different things. Like I said, a level editor so people could create and share their own levels for that game would be amazing. But a lot of the levels are just boring. I mean, that's the biggest crime, really. Is that the levels are boring as hell. It's like you start off at one end, you run to the right, you mostly shoot people directly in your way, or some people come behind you like a monster closet type deal, and it's just nothing happens. It's like, okay, but then you get some levels where you need to do like cool ricocheting things. You kick like a cast iron frying pan into the air, like 15 feet in the air, you start shooting at it, and the ricochets kill the bad guys in the next room. You have cool moments like that, but those are like few and far between. I'd say that's like 10% of the levels are cool stuff like that, bouncing bullets off of other objects, doing neat stuff. And then the rest of it's just straightforward, like, oh, I'm in the sewers now, and there's like LARPers who are way too into it, and they're trying to attack me. And it's just basically, oh, there's one, shotgun them, they're dead. One shotgun hit, they're dead again. It's just like, oh, come on, you know, give us some more challenge. What happened to the neat stuff that was in there before? So it's kind of disappointing, but it's not unplayable. Let's see, where in the world am I? I remember I backtracked to here. Let's see, let's run out of town, we'll get a map. I think I'm heading up towards... supposed to be going somewhere. It's a problem with RPGs, and I haven't been playing this one for like that long. It's like, you think I'd remember exactly where I was, because I think the next part story-wise is I need to go to Mallow's parents. So let's go to Tadpole Pond. And in things unrelated to video games, but anime instead, just a little word of wisdom. If you ever have a tweet just take off on you and becomes like retweeted and commented on like popular, mute the notifications or it's gonna blow up your Twitter and your phone all day long. Did a tweet this morning, I think the last time I looked at it was like 20,000 likes. Yeah, 21,000 likes, 7,500 retweets. It's like, my phone's just been blowing up. I had to turn off the notifications for it. It was funny. Alright, have I been to Seaside Town yet? Oh, that's right, okay. The Axum Rangers, which is Super Sentai, or like Power Rangers. Also, if the audio needs to be readjusted, please let me know. That's the biggest thing about my stream, is that if the audio is terrible or something's off, and I don't know about it, which I won't know, tell me. Alright, Seaside Town. How am I for Toadstool? Yeah, she's a healer. Okay, so how am I for items? Need more honey syrup or maple syrup. That's basically like restores your MP if you've never played this game before. That's right, I need to unlock everybody in the town. They're hidden somewhere. Here they are. Thanks so much. I've had enough of cramped, dirty old places like this. Now to go back to my cramped, dirty old place. Peace, brother. Okay. It's mighty unpleasant in here. Thanks for helping us out. I'm a mole and known for digging, and could have dug us out of here, but nah, I'm glad you showed up. Thanks a lot. Be sure to stop by. Thank you for freeing us. I've got to get back to work now. Stop by the inn. Thank you for saving our little town of Seaside. They did torture me a little. They did torture me a little, but that's nothing to worry about. And the best part is I was responsible for that. It's like, hand over the star piece. Nope, and they run and torture this guy. And every single time you say no, they run and torture the guy until you decide to finally say, give him the star piece. Thanks. They hooked my small genital region up to a car battery, but here's an item to help you, because I mean, it didn't help me. Beetles are us. Alright, cat. You want in, Keiko? Come on in. Where you going? Cats get weird like that. She's like, yeah, I want in the room. Oh, never mind, you open the door. What? You're on the stream. Oh no. Oh yes, exactly. The ads I have no control over. That's the most frustrating part, because if you are a partner, then you can say no, don't show ads or anything like that. But nope, as just an affiliate, they're like, oh well, yeah, we're gonna run ads constantly. Hopefully not constantly. Hopefully they're not popping in too much. I think it's just one time. Alright. Ooh, so this is... I think I have the strongest one right now. Really? That's crazy. So it's like you come up through, you know, UCB and really good at improv, and you end up as a Crash Bandicoot, you know, commercial. Gotta pay the bill somehow, as long as it's getting them on screen time, you know, getting that presence. It's all for it. Whip. Oh, wrong button. See, when you go to RetroArts, it's a different layout. It's like A is confirmed, and in this game B is confirmed, so I do this non-stop. Yeah, I know they're doing the remaster for Crash Bandicoot, like the, I know the racing one I think is coming out pretty soon. They're remastering that. And then the Spyro trilogy that's out already for PlayStation 4 is actually coming to the Switch in September, I believe it is. okay, so the Trooper Shell is the same as the Masher, so it does nothing for me. So what am I running this on? I am running this on RetroArch, which is a neat, fun emulator that's a pain in the butt to set up. I do know that they support it on Linux and Mac as well, but it plays just about everything. I have 3DO games, PlayStation, PSP, Sharp 86,000 games, Saturn. I mean, it plays just about everything to get to basically set yourself up with. So it's pretty handy. It's gotten so much better than what it used to be. Like when this first came out, like actually about probably 6 months ago, they finally got to like stable builds, because if you looked at it funny, it would just crash like crazy. So this is a much better improvement. It's actually stable now. All right, let's see. Back up. There we go. Come in and browse. I'm running an armor shop. And the neat thing about this too is that it runs on what they call cores, or forks, if you will. And I think I have everything here that I need. I'm not sure. But basically it's like you can change out how you play it. Like let's just do a save state right here just in case something happens. But you can change it up. Like, oh, let me just close the content. No problem. Reset core association. So you can run like Beetle, BSNES for accuracy, so it's going to play as close as possible to a real Super Nintendo. You have SNES 9X. There's a really cool thing you can also do with this. This is why I use SNES 9X. I hate 9X by itself because it's got so much lag, like input lag. But you can actually negate that with RetroArch. You can actually set it to run ahead. So what you do is like you just, let's see, run the game. We'll load it up real quick. Load state. There we go. So I have it set on right now. Let me turn it off real quick. So what you do is you pause the game, you hit P, like I think it's P on the keyboard. Let's bring this up. And then you hold down like the jump button, like for example, and then you hit K on the keyboard, which makes it go ahead by 1 frame. I don't know why they decided to make it like that, but when you basically count how many times it is, so it's 1, 2, you subtract 1, so basically I need to run ahead 1 frame, which is what I have the setup for. So back to the game, pause, I'm holding down jump, 1 frame, I start to move. So basically it's gotten rid of all the lag input, which is awesome. So yeah, you can actually run, it's a free program, you can actually run it on a Raspberry Pi. People running it on, I think they just got it working on Xbox One, but I know that they have it running on PlayStation 3. You can run it all sorts of different things. They even have like a Switch port running up if you've hacked your Switch. So you can run it on just about every single thing. So give me a second. RetroArch. There we go. Yeah, so just, let's see, it's RetroArch. That's the name of it there. So yeah, it looks like a PlayStation 3. You know, it very much does, like the whole thing. You can actually customize this any way you want it, but that's by the default, which I find funny that they just pretty much straight copied the PlayStation 3 crossbar just about. But it's pretty close to it, and like I said, it gets pretty complicated, but they've actually gotten the build a lot more stable and a lot more user-friendly than what it used to be. But if you ever download it, let me know. I have like a little walkthrough in files that I can like hit you up on my G drive. They will work on anything there, because they're like the BIOSes and things you'd need to play like PlayStation games, Sega Saturn, everything else like that across the board. I have that done already. Alright, so just saved, so I have no idea what I have for stat stuff. I mean, the problem with this game is that You can go into stores, you can buy equipment, but it doesn't tell you what your stats are like until you buy it. They're like, oh, this is actually worse for you. It's like, thanks. I really wanted to spend that money. Like, for example, there are happy shirts. I don't know if this is better or not. And it's worse. Which is why, if you're playing an emulator, save states are your friend. Don't waste money. Health food! Oh, no, you get that away from me. Oh, yeah. And this runs it too. This has DS emulators, 3DS, like Citra. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried that specifically since I have Citra installed separately as a 3DS emulator. But yeah, it does all that stuff. It's pretty surprising. Macs handle that stuff like surprisingly well for Nintendo emulation. Maybe I can sell some stuff. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. I can't remember if I'm just about to get into a fight here or not. Okay, I've already seen this. SMRPG did Banjo-Kazooie for a little while, and... Oh, you did Lunar as well? Really? I haven't played that game series in forever. It's like, I have the problem that I've played a lot of RPGs, like, many years ago, and I have subsequently forgotten what they were about. I'm like, yeah, I played it. Is it good? Yes, I remember it being good. What's it about? Well, I don't know. Got me. Okay, that was awesome. Let's see. I'm totally not stalling for time and looking up a walkthrough, because that'd be crazy and irresponsible. I am like the gaming persona here, expert. Let's see. Land's End. How do I get to there? Okay, so I need to actually track down the Elder and see what he has to tell me. Oh, hey, Ronnie, what's up? Yeah, so basically I need to get to Land's End. I'm like, I was trying to figure out like where I needed to go. It's like, okay, I know that the next part's supposed to progress and tell you, but I need to talk to the old guy back in the town, the Elder, who's like, oh yeah, they tortured me ruthlessly. Because you're too stubborn to give him the star. So he's got a house, I think, up here. I think this is his house. Yep. Okay, maybe it'll help me. Far side of Land's End is a town made up of reformed monsters. Mouse came by the other day and I overheard him boasting about a star of theirs. I don't know exactly where this town is located, but if you follow the road, you'll get there. Thanks. So yeah, it's like a town full of peaceful monsters, and I can't remember how you do it because it's been literally 23 years since I last did it. You can actually, there's a secret Final Fantasy boss in this game. And it is, like, Culex, I think is the guy's name, and he is hard as hell. So I have 21 frog coins. Oh no, I am 1 frog coin away from getting the experience booster, which doubles your experience points. Helps you level up faster. Oh, that hurts. So now does the road open up? Yo, magically it's there. How nice. Yay, save. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played all the way through this game. I think the last time I played it was a couple of years ago. I got my actual physical cart. And I think I got like to Moleville, and that's where I stopped. So it's been like literally 23 years or so since I've been this far in the game. And once long ago, I used to have the strategy guide for this, and then unfortunately it was wrecked in a basement flood, along with a couple other really cool things like my Game Gear. Oh, that made me so mad when that happened. Okay. I'm missing something. Nope, not thinking this through. Yeah, so I had that. I'm trying to think what else got ruined in the basement flood. It wasn't like an inch of water type deal. It was like, oh, this is like, it went from like a little bit of water on the floor to 1.5 feet of water in like an hour. It was like flash flood in the basement. I was like, oh my goodness. So that was really stressful, and so we lost a lot of good stuff. Okay, so I'm hitting B. So so apparently you need to hit it directly as you hear that chime, I guess, and that's what's basically launching you forward strong enough. Yeah, it's been a little rainy. Fortunately, it's not been too bad. I mean, we haven't had it nearly as bad as like when Ohio's been getting. Like, I was talking a little bit with Corey from My Life in Gaming on YouTube, and he lives in Ohio, and like literally like his basement started flooding. He's like, yeah, we're in like a flash flood. Like, oh crap, I gotta go. It's flooding my basement. I'm like, oh, geez, that's just like. Ever since like my basement flooded like 10 years ago in a different state, like whenever it rains, like I get that twitch in my eye, like, oh, I don't have it rain again. Please don't ever flood. Yeah, so fortunately here it hasn't been too bad. We've only been getting like we've been getting some rain, but it's been very, very manageable. But nothing like this flooding here. The worst I've only had living here was the basement, the sewer line backing up into the basement twice. It was like, oh. It's like nothing like creating a dam of towels around the sewer pipe, you know, drain on the floor to stop sewage from flowing back into it. You live in the basement, mind you. Well, that stuff there too, so it's like, and then like scrubbing fecal matter off the floor, and they wondered why I got sick with C. diff. It's like, yeah, it's probably one of the reasons. And of course, then we had found out we had a broken sewer pipe the second time it happened. Like, oh yeah, your sewer pipe out front's broken, like going from your house to the sewage system, and we need to fix that, and it's gonna cost $10,000 because we gotta dig up your yard. It's like, all right, do it. It's like, it's a necessity. Please do it. All right, I gotta figure out the timing for this. I did like California. I lived in California back in the early 90s. I was up in Northern California, up near Sacramento. No, still another timing for that one. It was nice. It's pretty, but the people are crazy as hell, and they've only gotten crazier last time I was back. So I'm like, yeah, it's not too bad. It's also the taxes are like ridiculous out there. They've gotten even worse. Last time I checked, I think it was around 11% or 11.5% sales tax. There we go. Got that one. It's got great weather. I mean, there we go. I have family who lives in San Jose, which is like south of San Francisco. And my dad did some training for the Air Force in Monterey Bay, which is another great place. It's where they have like Pebble Beach golf course. You know, it's great with all like the wind coming up there and all the cliffs and stuff. You get great updrafts, so you see people like paragliding, like hang gliding all over the place. It's really fun. It's really pretty. Like I said, it just like got taxed to the hell and back, and the people are like certifiably insane a lot of times. It's like, hi, how you doing? It's like, man, have I told you about the lizard people? I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm gonna slowly back away here from you. San Francisco was a lot of fun. I mean, that was like the family and I, like, we basically like, hey, let's go take a vacation. And it's like, let's go down to San Francisco for the day. So we just hop in the car, drive like 3.5 hours down to San Francisco, walk around all day, and that was great. Ooh, health or power? Let's go for power. Oh yeah, I've been over there a couple times. What I really liked was we used to go to Muir Woods, which is like the redwood forest, and that is awesome. I mean, we used to go hiking through there. We just like hiked 3 or 4 miles throughout the woods there, and just walking among these gigantic redwood trees. It feels like you're an ant. You know, it's like crawling on the ground just because the perspective is so gigantic. And also, it was like the only place in California that had like clean air. It's like, wow, this is amazing. Oh yeah, Muir Woods is awesome. It's like if you ever visit California, you get the chance to go there, stop in and take a hike or take a small walk through there. Because I remember at the entrance to like the Muir Woods, they had like this cross section of a tree that was like, it fell down, it died and fell down. I think it was like around 1920 or so. And they went back and counted all the rings for how long this tree was alive. It had been alive for like 3,000 years. It was like, holy crap. They're like, here's when, you know, Civil War started. They have it marked on there. Here is like, you know, Magna Carta signed. They're just going backwards through history, all the way back as far as they could go, like to when the tree was originally born. You know, came to be planted, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, California air is not the best. It's cleaned up since the 90s, since I was back there, so that's good to see, but it's still pretty bad. If you go to like LA in the morning, it was just like, it looks like fog outside, and it was literally smog. It was like, oh, this is nasty. Yay, 0. And that's something about this game that I really wish others would do, like the ability to press the button, press any attack button, actually any button on the controller, at the right timing, you can increase your attack power. If you hit it just right, you can nullify attacks against you. It's like, that would have, like, this is the only game I've ever seen that happen with, really. The only place I've ever lived that actually gave me, like, hell for my allergies was when I lived in Utah. And I don't know what it was, but it was just, like, we were there for about a year and a half, I'd say. And it was like I had a constant sinus infection, just about. It was like, couldn't breathe, and this is before you had allergy medications come through, like Claritin, Zyrtec, things like that did not exist. So, yeah, I did not have a fun time in Utah. Didn't live in Phoenix. I would go up there for the occasional visit, like just for a day trip, just to see, like, to go to IMAX movie or something. But I lived 2 hours south of there in Tucson, which is ironically cooler than it was Phoenix. Because, I mean, it's weird because, like, Phoenix is getting up closer towards the mountains, but you're still in the mountains in Tucson anyway, like, you're at the foot of them. But, like, Phoenix would be on average, like, 10 to 15 degrees hotter. It'd be, like, 105 in Tucson. You'd go up to Phoenix, it'd be, like, 122. I was like, oh, okay. How people would live there before air conditioning was invented blows my mind. Ooh, script writing takes place in Phoenix. Well, it's a good place to be. Confused monsters, love them. Yeah, so Phoenix is actually, it's, you know, the bigger town in Arizona. Like, it's bigger than Tucson, of course. It's a bigger, sprawling place. You got all the little places around it, they're kind of built into it. But, like not Flagstaff, but, drawing a blank on the other places. But it's kind of like surrounded by other mountains in the area, so... It's just crazy hot in the summer, and during the winter time, it's really nice, but people freeze to death just about. It's like 72 degrees, what we consider to be very nice. And they're like walking around in like jeans and heavy winter jackets. It's crazy. So they'd see me in shorts and like, aren't you freezing? I'm like, the rest of the world calls this summer. It's like, this is very nice. Alright, so I need to get something anti-poison because these guys are wrecking me. Do I have... Yeah, I got the sailor cape. Yeah, my poor friends, like, the second place, I lived in like 2 apartments when I lived in Tucson. First one was like a 1-bedroom, real kind of junky place. And then I got a really good job working for AOL. I mean, they paid out like crazy. They're like, oh, you get hired, here's a hiring bonus for you once you complete training, which takes 3 weeks, and it's like $2,000. It's like, okay. So I got myself, steal of a deal, I got myself like a 2-bedroom apartment. I want to say it's like 900 square feet. I don't know how big it was, but it was pretty big. And all utilities paid for like $580 a month. So I would have like the air conditioning set to 68 degrees. And like my friends would come over and just freeze to death. They'd come over and put on jackets just to hang out with me. It's like, can you turn up the temperature? I'm like, no, not at all. It's like, I'm not paying for this, and I'm keeping it as cold as I can. Now, item inventory in this game is kind of a pain because you don't have much in the way of, like, if you have like 20 mushrooms, it doesn't combine them into one category like something like Chrono Trigger would do, or Chrono Cross would still do. It's like, here's 20 mushrooms and shows you all 20 of them. You only have 2 pages of inventory. So you really, it doesn't really pay to hold on to items a lot of times. It's like, look at this. It's like, okay, so instead of saying like I have 3 mid mushrooms, it shows I have 3 mid mushrooms, and it's page 1 and page 2. And one of the slots is taken up by a wastebasket where you can just throw stuff out. Able juice heals a problem. I can probably get rid of some of these. I don't need that. I'll probably regret that, but... Make it rain! For me. Yay! Attack up. Oh, another cool thing here about this game is there's so many great things I love about it that you just still don't see replicated. So, as you may have noticed, Peach just leveled up, but she's not in my party right now. She's not an active member. Everyone still gets experience points, so whatever experience points you get, everybody gets them, even if you're not playing with them. So, like, for example... Yeah, your chat's working, I can see you typing there. Yeah, so it's experience share across everything, so everyone levels up. I have no idea if there's anything special down here or not, like, must explore. So that's cool about it. And, yeah, so you don't run into situations like Final Fantasy VIII. Crap. So it's like... You wouldn't, like, run into, like, okay, we need to split everybody up, and, like, all of a sudden, like, I have, like, 3 overpowered characters and, like, 3 people I haven't touched the entire game who are, like, level 3, and you're fighting against, like, level 20 enemies. It's like, crap, gotta restart and grind those people up. The Pokemon controversy, is that, like, about the person drawing a new character and someone complaining they weren't the right shade? So I heard something, like, along that lines. I had to look it up, like, some artist named Mary. And my being colorblind, I can't tell the difference anyway, so I'm like, I don't see the problem, if that's it. Yeah, there's something like that. Somebody on my Twitter feed today was like, this person drew this... No, the racist Pokemon shrines I haven't heard of at all, but, like, they were going off about some person who drew a, like, black character in Pokemon, or whoever she is. They're like, but they didn't draw her the right shade of brown instead, and I'm like, and they were getting, like, all upset about this here, and, like, there's multiple tweets about it. They're going after this person, attacking them for it, and then so I checked out that person's Twitter, and I'm like, and it was just more nonsense of that. I'm like, I'm colorblind, I can't even see the difference here in, like, color shades. It's like, you guys need to really kind of get with it. It wasn't like a racist drawing or anything like that. I remember back in the original Pokemon, people were having problems with Jinx. So it looks like an old minstrel show character, which I think that people don't care about anymore for Jinx. I don't think the old Pokemon have been in anything new. I don't play Pokemon, so I really don't know. I'm aware that it's a thing. People like it. People play Pokemon Go, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I don't, because I don't go anywhere. Oh, really? Okay, I heard something about, like, not all Pokemon are being in the new games, and the creator saying something about it being unbalanced if they were, or some kind of excuse for it. Well, I have a feeling I'm gonna get this just right. See? It's like, hey, you can pay us here for... So it's like paying to, like, introduce Pokemon, like... save your Pokemon. Okay, so it's paid service to save your Pokemon, then you can't use them in the upcoming title. That I can see why people would be upset. Definitely. Yeah, so like, what's the point then? I mean, you know, why pay for that service? And then not all the Pokemon can be used in the new game. Like, did they say which ones would not be making the cut, or is it like a give us your money, then you'll find out later type situation? Oh wow, that's it. That's pretty lame. To say, give us your money, and then we'll tell you after you've bought it, and there's no refunds, and then you find that like all the best Pokemon probably aren't getting carried over. That would, yeah, I would be upset about that. I guess like the nearest equivalent that I could kind of equate it to would be like Mass Effect 3. Because I kept saying with Mass Effect 1 and 2, that like all your choices are gonna matter, they're gonna carry you to the third game and do this, and none of it mattered. They're like, oh, by the way, all the previous choices that we've been keeping track of doesn't matter. Here's one of your 3 endings, pick which one you want. All of them suck. It's like, wow. Yeah, I think a lot of people made better endings. Because I know that they actually had to go back, like BioWare, I think it was still at the time, was still doing it there, had to go back and like patch in a new ending. Because people are like upset because everything ended poorly, and like I said, your choices still didn't matter in the end anyway, so... I remember my roommate at the time, like, going through and playing it, and he was raging. I was like, what is going on? So, he had saved right before then, so we went and saw, like, all 3 endings. I'm like, that is garbage. It's like, that is ridiculous. It's like, oh, you destroyed the conduits, that way, like, you know, nobody can travel across the galaxy, and by the way, all these aliens can't eat food where they're at right now, they have to get it from the homeworld, so all these alien races are gonna starve to death. And you've isolated the entire galaxy. Good for you! It's like... That's like what almost all the endings were. I'm like, this is terrible. It's like, you've just ruined like any chances of a sequel, of any future spin-off games, because you can't travel the galaxy, then you're trapped on Earth or wherever planet you're on at the time. And it just, they decided to paint themselves in the corner and pat themselves on the back like, we did great, and then people just revolted when they got to it. Okay, so I need to get a transform pin or something basically stop me from transforming here. So before it was poison, now it's this. Well, the game series, Mass Effect, for me, was really... It was a case study in, like, how EA destroys games, really. Because you had the original Mass Effect, which was like a shooting RPG. So you actually had to... You had bullets, like, you had infinite bullets, but you had weapon cooldown. So you had to be careful how many times you shot your gun. Like, it would overheat, and then you could be in the middle of a battle and you're hosed, you know, if you're not careful. And then EA, like, bought out BioWare, sucked them into it for the sequel, and said, hey, this entire cool mechanic you have here, get rid of it. We don't want that anymore. Gears of War is popular right now, so this is now a cover shooter. Instead of planning things out, we're going to have waist-high barricades everywhere, and you're going to have ammunition clips so you can refill your ammo. It's just like, this isn't Mass Effect anymore. It's like, they've changed it into Gears of War. And then, like, 3 was just basically, oh, here's all your choices, they don't matter. So that was a big thing, and 3 is more of the same, so it's like, ugh. Yeah, so, like, if you like, combat shooters like that, it's like, it's something that was a lot of fun, but I actually like the first game, the first one a lot better, just for the different, for being different, pretty much. Tree form pin. Right. And you had to be careful too, like the original Mass Effect as well, because like if you just went in guns blazing to a room, a lot of times you were going to die. So you had to really kind of plan things out, scout ahead a little bit, position like your teammates for better locations. It actually took some thought, which was kind of cool. And then 2 was just like, oh, here's a war. So yeah, it's like, if it was really ambitious, it didn't meet everyone's expectations for what it was going to be. Sky Bridge, tourist attraction here. I think there's a star down below. 5 coins, need an explanation, yes please. Normal course, you make it across just by jumping. You get 5 coins for that. Special course, the blocks will fall, and if your time runs out, get 8 coins. Extra course, the blocks will fall, and the jumps are harder. Oh yeah, that's nice. Well, I think I'm still maxed out on money just about, so... Get a free frog coin. Ooh. Let's do expert just because he said frog coin. Yeah! Expert! And the best. Yeah, this part's kind of a pain in the butt. Yay, I made it! Yeah, isometric 3D is not the best 3D. It's pseudo 3D. This came out like 6 months before before the Nintendo 64 actually launched in the United States. And that was one thing I was kind of happy to see, is like true 3D and not isometric stuff like this, because platforming is just brutal. Been here in a while, been busy traveling around. Where are you heading? Monster Town by any chance? Sure! Look for the world where the ant pops up and proceeds after it. Keep following it, you'll find your way underground. Monster Town is just around the corner. Oh, I can tell you exactly the first time I saw a Nintendo 64, because I got it 3 months ahead of everybody else. And that was like the most mind-blowing thing ever, because we imported a Japanese Nintendo 64, so it came out in June, so we got our hands on it in June before it were launched in September in the States. So yeah, my brother and I pulled together the money, we got our hands on it there, so we got Pilot Wing 64 and Mario 64. Because like the third game was like a shogi, like Japanese chess game, and like nobody bought it, even Japan, like it sold almost nothing. So Yeah, so like literally like the first time like we fired up Mario 64, my brother and I spent like half an hour outside the castle just running around doing stuff. Our minds were just blown away because it was actual 3D movement. You know, it wasn't like pseudo 3D like you'd seen before in PlayStation games. Like it was like full movement, run around, do what you want type deal. So it was really funny is that, so I get it there that night, my brother and I are playing, we're having a blast. I call my friend Patrick. I'm like, hey man, I got the 64. And like, he lived like half a mile from me. I'm pretty sure he ran that in like 20 seconds, because next thing you know, he's like slamming on my door, like, let me in! So, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was a game changer. Like, I haven't really seen anything since then that's really kind of like blown me away. Like, wow, this is like such an amazing upgrade for graphics. It's just like, okay, it's like, it's the new level things there, it looks a little prettier, but it's not like that huge like paradigm shift type situation like the 64 was. Because I remember like thinking like, even like the PlayStation and Sega Saturn they're okay, but they weren't for me like, holy cow, this is amazing, I gotta have one. It was like, I'll pass on it for now. Because like I didn't get a PlayStation until Metal Gear Solid came out. That's when I got one, finally. And did not get a Sega Saturn until it was like discontinued in the States and my parents got a steal of a deal on it for Christmas. But yeah, the Dreamcast was probably like the last big console for me that really got to go, like really awesome stuff. You know, it's like the basic kind of like, wow, this is really kind of cool to have. But even then, for me, it wasn't like mind-blowing graphics. Like I said, the 64 kind of like spoiled me on everything for that. Combat sub-game. There was a game made by people who went on to make Metal Slug, but it's like a Japanese game. I don't think it ever came out for the PlayStation in English. It was like in the Hunt or something like that, I think it was called. It's basically like Metal Slug underwater, but like I say, I think it's a Japanese only game. Can I pull it off? The Geno Whirl. Actually, does the blast hit everybody? It does. It was a lot of fun when I finally got my Sega Saturn. Like, that was, like, huge for me, because even though it was, like, a dead system... Okay, there's gotta be something back here. Nothing? Really? Oh. But yeah, it was, like, Christmas 97, I think it was, or 98? Probably 98. And... it's like, I told my parents, like, hey, this store has, like, Sega Saturn. It was, like, Software Etc. Before it was, Babbage's, then Software Etc. Then eventually it got merged into GameStop when that all came to be after, like, multiple acquisitions and so forth. I was like, hey, they got a Sega Saturn. They have, like, X-Men vs. X-Men vs. Street Fighter, which is a game, like, my brother and I, we used to dump tons of money into the arcade, where we should have just probably bought the machine. It would have been cheaper if we had done that. So, come Christmas, I get, like, the Sega Saturn, I get the ST key, which is, like, a 4 megabyte RAM card that lets you play not only the, like, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but any import game. The Virtual Stick, and it came with, yeah, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Samurai Showdown 3 and 4, Deep Fear, which is, like, Resident Evil Underwater, which is really awesome. Let's see what else came with it there. Virtual Fighter 2, Daytona USA, and Virtua Cop, and the Fight Stick. And like they're like, oh yeah, we got it for like 120 bucks, all of it. I'm like, holy crap! It was like you guys walked away with a hell of a deal. And that's why I learned like about all the amazing games that came out in Japan and never came to the States. Like X-Men vs. Street Fighter is arcade perfect. There is no loading on it. So when I had that, it was like, my brother and I are like, well, why should we keep playing this in the arcades? You know, it's arcade perfect at home. We can save our money now for that. It was the same way for the Dreamcast too. Like I got, what was it, Marvel vs. Capcom, which was a game my brother and I were playing in the arcade. That we had it at home. The Dreamcast was like, basically, when the Dreamcast came out for me, that's when I realized that arcades were going to die in the United States. Because games that I was playing in the arcade, I could play at home and they looked better. Like, my arcade actually had Soul Calibur, which was running on the time... Oops, sucked me into the wrong hole. It was running, basically, I think it's the System 22 is what it's called. And that's basically like a PlayStation architecture with more RAM in it. So if you ever saw Tekken Tag in the arcade, that's basically what it was. It was a PlayStation with more RAM to it. So I had seen Soul Calibur, and then I bought it for my Dreamcast for $50, and it looked so much better than the arcade version. I could play it as long as I wanted to. I didn't have to keep dumping money into it constantly. Okay, I'm wondering if this is an emulation error, because I'm not seeing anything. But that's why I knew, like, okay, I can get arcade games at home and in better quality. Why should I spend money at the arcade? Oh, there he is, okay. Hey, Nimix! What's up? Your boss is like, please stop, you're doing too well. We can't keep paying you so much more money. And that's the thing, Shortster, is like, I actually didn't like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like, I didn't get to play it on the Dreamcast. I was familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom 1, which was the traditional Street Fighter layout, and then all of a sudden they switched to 4-button layout, and that just still screws me up. Like, when you have attack buttons do punches and kicks at the same time, my brain just goes, what? Because like with other Street Fighter games like that, like I can figure out the progression for the combo system, like light goes into heavy, heavy in the, you know, light goes into medium, medium goes into heavy, and what can link into what? And then all of a sudden you have a game where it's just like you have special, light, medium, hard, and sometimes you get kicks out of them, sometimes you get punches, and my brain just doesn't know how to handle, like, okay, how do I know it's going to come out next? What's going to happen here? Like, what's the combo string? You know, and I still don't understand to this day. So I like watching games like X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Let's stop and think about what I'm going to say here. Like games like, I like watching like games like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, people play those games there, like the Versus series, like 2 onward. I like watching that, but like I can't play them. Like, my brain just has that barrier. It's like, nope, it's not gonna make sense to you. I even had that problem with Dragon Ball FighterZ that just recently, I say recently, like, man, it's been like a year since I came out. Let's see, today is this. Let's do that tomorrow. How about tomorrow if you got free time, Nimix? I'm not sure, either then or Sunday, or whatever time you have available. So all the things I was about to ask is like, when do you want to get that all set up? Oh, I hate the Geno Whirl. Okay, Sunday will do better. We can do that Sunday. Geno Whirl is so amazing if you can hit the right frame. It's like literally like one frame. I'll do 9999 damage. I usually stream at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, of course. So of course we'd have to coordinate like on Discord like probably half an hour sooner or something like that just to get everything set up and make sure everything's working. All that fun stuff. Because Discord can be a nightmare to stream with. Yay, freebie. Yeah. So I'll be streaming, of course. So I have the better internet, so they'll be able to handle the bandwidth of, you know, streaming and also Discord and all that other fun stuff. Alright, so just out of curiosity, Geno Blast timing. It's like type in like Geno Blast, they're like, oh yeah! You mean Geno Beam? No, I didn't mean that at all. It's like, what's the timing for it? Okay, and of course GameFAQs is just a wasteland of nothing. Okay, let's see here. Found a way to improve your streaming. Interesting. If I had one machine to capture a single feed audio. Make sure everything in the one. Yeah, that would be better. I mean, that's usually what people do, like higher end streamers. They'll have one computer for playing or whatever, then the other one's can handle the processing for capture and other stuff with it. Yeah, if it's almost 8 years old, it's like, oof, that's gotta be really struggling to do. Because one of the runners for Bayonetta kind of learned that the, Bayonetta 2 learned that the hard way. Like, I'm just gonna get a cheap PC, it's like, no, don't. It's like... Because I'm gonna get like a Chromebook, and I'm gonna like get an Elgato, and it's like it's not gonna be able to run it at all. And like he got it, and he was like, "Yeah, the computer almost burst into flames." Well, of course. But yeah, I've thought about that too. Like setting up, like I actually have another monitor I can use, so I can do dual monitor setup, which would be great. But unfortunately, I just don't have room with my current computer desk and where I'm at. But yeah, like a secondary computer would be nice to handle it, because I've thought about that before. But of course the reason I have my current computer is because the old Northbridge on my older one was starting to die, so... Which is like... think of like the cerebellum of the brain. It's like, it controls your breathing and your pulse, your heartbeat. And it's like the same thing, if you don't have it on your computer, if it starts to fail, you're just gonna have random just shutdowns and everything else, like no warning, like somebody just pulled the plug type of situation. Okay. Popcorn is good. How long gonna be here? Probably another 2 hours, maybe? Shooting for like a 3-hour stream. That's fine. It's no problem. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Can we run away? Couldn't run. Good. You wasted that turn, Gino. I'm proud of you. Hey, level up. Okay, that's good to see. Ooh, YKB is streaming. Yellow Killer Bee with Ella, so if you like Lego games and family-friendly stuff, check her out. She's a lot of fun. Run away, Mario! Alright, need to head back to town, get some other supplies. What's funny is, like, I remember, like, the first time I played this, I didn't have to grind a whole lot, and now I'm just like, I'm just getting leveled by everybody. Okay, hoping for a special mushroom. Yes. It's a classic. What's up, Morg? Pardon me. Also, what are you doing here? YKB is streaming. She is far more entertaining, and Ella's there too. Do you have any mushrooms? Yes, I do. I have lots of mushrooms. No, you don't. Yeah, but this is the funny thing, like I said, it's like, I don't remember having to grind, and it's like, everything's just beating me into the ground. I'm like, I guess I need to level up more. Okay, so it's all things I have already. Surprised there's no, like, saving everybody in the town discount of this place. Like, hey, you saved us, and, still gotta, you know, charge you a lot of money. Yeah, I already got all the good stuff. Pretty sure that's still... That's the wrong button. Oh, brain's getting fried with this. Yeah, it's like, wow, I'd like to give you a discount. Okay, so these are cheaper there, so those are definitely not worth it. Well, it's kind of like, I've been playing Bloodstained, which is really awesome. So if you like Symphony of the Night or like the Castlevania games of late, like especially the Game Boy Advance ones, like the Metroidvania type of Castlevania games, Bloodstained is awesome. It's just it's Castlevania and everything but the name, literally. So there's like, oh, there's a discount card you can get, which will give you discounts on everything in the store. And by the way, that's going to cost you $100,000. King Relic, the subscription, you're a crazy, crazy person. Blows my mind I still have people subscribing. What's up, man? Much appreciated. I'm hanging in there. The usual. Had an interesting day so far. Went and had my appointment with the sleep study clinic, like the sleep clinic. And they're like, yeah, you have sleep apnea, so we need to have another sleep study. I'm like, I know, that's why I'm here. It's what we need to have done. So got that scheduled for like August, as soon as they can do it. And then like I did like a tweet about Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's an anime. It just came out on Netflix. And so I made a little tweet there because I realized like, oh, by the way, all the cool ending music like Fly Me to the Moon, all the different versions are taken out of the Netflix version. So I made a little tweet about it. And I come home and find out that it's going semi-viral. It's like 23,000 likes, 8.2 thousand retweets. I'm like, whoa, okay, I guess people really liked it. I put it like into the Discord and it was only like 2,000 likes at the time. I thought, okay, no way it's gonna go higher than that, and every time I look at it, it's like, oh, it's another 1,000 likes. This is crazy. And now I'm playing Mario RPG. I think... okay, more maple syrup we'll need. Save. That's cool. Don't worry about it. I will continue to be here, whether or not people watch. Just checking out something real quick. Okay. Alright, so it looks like I was doing the right thing, just kind of wrong. Yeah, so I think... I'm trying to remember where Link is, because there's Samus, and there's Link as well. They're both in this game. Let's see, that's just the storeroom. I could have sworn there was something in here, too. Chest somewhere. And I thought wrong. Okay, cool. Old man. Guess there's not an inn here. I thought that there was. This is the end. I think Link and Samus show up periodically back in the castle. We'll take a look. Nope. It's like, what are you doing here? You're in my party. Oh, okay. Grandma, thanks for putting up with all my selfish demands. I was like, wait a minute. Well, adventure will do you good. See the world, make friends. So, this is... okay, so her grandmother is a toadstool. She's a toad person. Why is Peach human? She is like the only human who rules over everyone here. I am very confused. Apparently, so it's like, makes me wonder like if Princess is actually like a toad, like a toadstool person, and just like can change their form like Grandma can there. Now she's still upset the whole Buzz thing. The people of Moleville. Land's End. Can't remember how to get to like the upper part of this. If only I had that strategy guide before it got wiped out in that basement flood. Okay, so these guys are all poisonous, so let's change this up. A sub? As in like a submarine sandwich? A hoagie or grinder depending on where you are in the country? Hoagies, blimps, grinders, subs. The 4 different ways I've heard it called throughout the different parts of the country. Yeah, hoagie I would hear up in New Hampshire. Which is kind of weird, of all places to hear it. And then, of course, like, when you talk about, like, carbonated beverages, like sodas, you have soda, pop, or Coke. And, like down in Texas, everyone calls everything is Coke. Pepsi is Coke. Coke is Coke. Root beer is Coke. It's like, oh, what type of Coke do you want? Like, are we talking, like, cherry Coke, vanilla Coke? They're like, no, we got Pepsi, Sprite, Dr. Pepper. I'm like, oh, this is gonna mess me up for a while. Yes, fizzy juice. Special. Make it rain. Let's do maple syrup. Yes. Mario, I have no idea how to break this to you, but you have type 2 diabetes. In fact, everybody in your party does. I mean, how did this happen? Were you consuming high amounts of sugary things, like drinking a lot of sodas, or were you drinking, like, maple syrup raw? Why? I need the magic power. I'm like, oh, no, you need to be on insulin. Your pancreas is shot. Living in New Hampshire has taught me many things in life. How to stack wood, how to survive winters, how to survive nor'easters and getting buried alive with, like, snow. But the biggest thing that it taught me, above all else, is that when you make maple syrup, it is a 50-to-1 ratio. Meaning, it takes 50 gallons of maple syrup sap, like a tree sap, to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. Which is crazy. one of my neighbors back in New Hampshire actually runs like a sugar, like a maple syrup company. It's like up in New Hampshire, and so he gave me a bottle of stuff, but I could see him just going around because he had all the trees there and getting all the syrup and the buckets and stuff. But yeah, it's just, it takes so much time because you get all the sap in there and everything. You got to boil it down for the longest time, and then after like 50 gallons or so, it just boils down to 1. It's like a lot of time goes into it. It just like evaporates out, and I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but I know it's a 50-to-1 ratio, which is pretty crazy. But real maple syrup, oh, that is good stuff. If you've never had it, it's, you know, Aunt Jemima, like Mrs. Buttersworth, things like that, they have their place, but like real maple syrup, like grade A maple syrup, is really something to behold. Pardon me. Which is also another thing moving around constantly growing up has taught me, is that wherever you are in the world, you will pay different prices for different things. Like New Hampshire, Vermont, you buy maple syrup, it's cheap. I mean, it's like, it's usually cheaper than buying a bottle of Mrs. Buttersworth. It's just about the same price. You know, like you might pay for like $5 for like however much is in a normal bottle of maple syrup, like of syrup. You go out like to the Midwest or the West Coast, you're gonna be paying a crazy amount for it. Like the best example I have for it is, it's like literally like my then girlfriend and I, we'd like, hey, what do you want to do for lunch today or dinner? It's like, well, let's get some seafood. Okay, so we'd get in the car and drive like 45 minutes to Maine, and we'd get like lobster, which would be like $7, $7 to $7.50 just about, depending where you went, because they were literally catching them right off the coast there and bringing them right into the restaurant. You go anywhere else outside of that area where they have lobster catching, and like lobster costs like $20 to $30, if not higher. It's just all about, you know, supply and where you're at. And these are large Maine lobsters. These, like, you see lobsters for sale in other places and other tanks, and like these things are like, they're half of what you normally get in Maine, half the size. Yeah, it was great. I mean, if you wanted like fresh seafood, I mean, you just go, just jump in the car, drive 45 minutes to Maine, get some really amazing stuff. There being like a secret somewhere. But also, growing up in the military and moving all over the places taught me that there's places in the country that I don't want to live. It's like living in Boston. I'll never do that again. Oh, you want to pay 3 times as much for everything? Live in Boston. You'll do that real easy. Also, Boston has like the craziest like traffic laws I've ever seen. There's like no markings on the road anywhere. There's like no like street painting lines, any to show like here's a berm, here's the middle of the road, nothing like that. And where we lived at the time was like, we were kind of getting like one of the thoroughfares around the area, and it was a 3-lane road we could turn into. It was a sharp left turn going around a blind corner, so you couldn't see what was around there, and to go into one lane. There is no sign telling you that it is going to go one lane. So everyone's trying to like go 3 lanes into 1 lane in like 35 feet, and there's just like traffic jams like crazy. You'll have lights go from like they'll go green light, and you can't go anywhere. You're still sitting in place because the people in front of you have not gone, like, because they're still stopped at their light. So it's like you can't go forward, and the cars behind you are honking. It's like the other car in front of me is a solid object. I can't phase through it. Or if I do go forward, I'm going to crash into it, which will continue to block the intersection. So it's not uncommon to just sit there for like 3 or 4 cycles until you're finally able to move, because the people in front of you finally got their light, so they can move a car up ahead. Yeah, it's pure anarchy. Like, the only thing I had close enough to like to kind of describe it was Chicago. I used to think Chicago driving was really bad. Second only to that is driving in the Philippines. That is... like, I don't know how you don't hear about more fatalities at all, because if you look at somebody, you give them permission to go. So you'll have people closing their eyes or looking down and just flooring it and just go flying through intersections. Yeah, it was an interesting 3 months of being in the Philippines. Manila was unique. There we go. It's like, hold still. Had to say this, but I can't believe I'm using Mallow in my team, just because he's got area effect and healing magic. This is like around the time you actually start using Mallow more. Like, you usually like you get rid of him as fast as you can because he's just so incredibly weak. Like, you keep leveling him up, and it's just like, you hit somebody, oh, you went from 1 to 2, good for you. Magic attack. Who else? Mallow! Yeah, let's get that magic up there. Do more damage, do better healing. Square games are great. They just don't make them like this anymore at all, period. I think it was like when I first started streaming, this was probably like the second day I'd been streaming Super Mario RPG, No Vultures dropped by. And he, basically, like, No Vultures would usually hang around when I did Metal Gear Solid playthrough. I did 1 through 5 last year. He's like, wait a minute, there's a Mario RPG game? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. He had, like, never heard of this game. Not always, I mean, but a lot of them are pretty good. They are known for some pretty good RPGs. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Jump off. Thank you. Okay, so they're not Square Enix. This is like Square. This is before the whole Enix thing there. Yeah, now there's like 10 Mario RPGs, but this was the trendsetter. Okay, so this is, I think, the star. Save state. Yes, it is. Haha. So there's a neat little thing you can do here. I think this is where you can do it. Which is where you get the star, you level up, you die, and when you restart the game, it carries over your experience points. So you just abuse it a couple times and level up like crazy. Alright, so let's test this theory. Let's see. Yeah, Bowser's out of the party for now. Actually, I'm probably going to put him back in. But I needed to have Mallow for, like, a lot of the healing. Pardon me. Ronnie, I would go, like, I would buy every single copy if that was a thing. If, like, Falling Down was an RPG, I would buy the hell out of it. Alright, so let's see, what's my status? Status is 119 for Mario, we'll remember that. Yep, but this was like the game that King Relic that actually started it all. Like, Paper Mario was like the sequel to this for the 64. Alright, let's try speeding this up. Yeah, we'll just take it down to like almost nothing here. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like, I was like, yes, it's going to be a sequel to Mario RPG, and this is going to be amazing. And it really wasn't. It's like, it's another game, but it really kind of wasn't a sequel from what I had played. It's like the whole Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross thing I talked about before. Alright, game over. It's like Chrono Cross is an amazing game. It's a great RPG. It's not really a sequel to Chrono Trigger. But it's a good one, though, but it's not a sequel. Alright, so I should have 119 for my status for Mario. And I do. Haha! Yes. So what do I have with low health? Let's see. Switch. Actually, let's go back to status. Will show me. Okay, so Gino should get swapped out for Princess. Get out of the way, you. Thank you. It's like, don't want to touch you before I can get the star. Be cool, man. Yeah, it's not also Mario. It's not Motocross either. That's really disturbing me. So I have to solve, like, word puzzles. What? Find these, like, pictograms. fast forward again. I remember playing Guys back in the arcade. Oh, I think I seriously screwed this one up. Run away. Alright, in-game reset. Stop the fast forwarding. There we go. I think I forgot to take off Mario's healing, like his stuff there. But yeah, Guys, actually, I played in the arcade. I was at Six Flags in St. Louis. And I played it there. And then, like, they have a home port of this. I'm like, okay, is it still the crazy game I remember from the arcade? Yep. Except for, like, even crazier. They're like, yeah, we're gonna add in, like, more Final Fantasy characters. Because, Cloud... Cloud and Tifa, I remember were in the arcade, but I think Sephiroth was added to the PlayStation version. I could be wrong on that. Tobal 1 was not bad. Yeah, the sound's off right now, because I'm just going to be fast-forwarding here in a second. Because I didn't want to subject you guys to all that wonderful fun stuff. The sounds of nightmares. Now, Tobal 2 was actually a really good game. That was one that I got to play... Okay, so I had a mod chip, like it wasn't a mod chip, it was actually an early Pro Action Replay for my PlayStation, and we had one of the first CD burners that they made for home market. Like my parents had money, we're like, let's do it this way, let's have some fun. So they bought a CD burner, and this allows me to play burned games on the PlayStation, which was like huge at the time. Crud. Reset. So Tobal 2 was Japanese only. No stores around me had any type of imports or anything like that, because I was living North Dakota at the time, which was pretty hard to come across imports, which is weird, because that's where I got my Saturn, all sorts of import games. So I had to find a dump of it online and download it on a dial-up connection, and that took like 4 days. It was brutal. But yeah, it took a long time, so I actually got to play that, you know, burn it to a CD. And it was a lot of fun. It was a great fighting game. It was like 3 or 4 days to download on a dial-up connection, because it was like, you had a 56K modem, which means you weren't downloading anything around 56 kilobytes a second. You were downloading like 2 kilobytes a second. So that was the downside. So, and then you had to use like another program for dial-up connection because they would fail. So you get kicked offline. And then it was like, so like you'd have this program there, like it'd stop it, like it'd resume programs, like it resumed downloads, like basically Chrome does now for almost everything you can do, pretty much. Yeah, so we actually had that happen when we moved to New Hampshire, which is the problem. They're like, oh yeah, just use this number to connect up to our internet service. They didn't tell us it was going to be like a long distance number, so we had like a $400 bill. It's like, we were not happy about that. But we actually paid to have a separate phone line because my dad worked for the hospital. He was a nurse anesthetist. So, which is basically, it's a fancy term for a position of basically you're the person who puts you to sleep for surgery and then wakes you up, which is the hardest part to do. So he was like the nurse anesthetist for the small mountain hospital we were at. So we had to have a second phone line for like any type of emergency situations if they were like you got called into work type deal for emergency surgery. So we had a phone line just for that, which was great. Except for you can only have one computer on at a time, so Ultra Flame. Yeah, dial-up was rough. I mean, you kids don't know how well you have it now with your fancy DSLs and your cable high speeds and your fiber what's-its. So actually when I worked at AOL, I was like one of the last people doing tech support for dial-up connections. This was like 2004. because everything was going broadband and the company was starting to sink, but... Yeah, so let's get some better music playing here. I'll turn down... Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to kill RetroArch. Not kill it, just turn off the sound for that. There we go. I'll play some other soundtrack music. Yeah, I didn't get broadband. I didn't, like, live in an area until I had broadband, like, domestically in the States. Pardon me, until, like, 2007. Actually, no. 2000, yeah, it was about 2004 for me. So, and that was the best you could do was like 500 kilobytes a second, which was still flying away. And like now I download like 13, 14 megabytes a second. All right, let's do some Nier Automata. We'll get some of that background music going here while I just grind away at this real fast and quickly level up. Yep, aim was a thing. Now, yeah, that actually went away not too long ago. Yeah, one of the things, like, when you work for AOL is, like, they show you, like, all the different companies that, like, they owned at the time, and, you know, they had AIM, and then they owned ICQ, which is the big popular thing at the time, and all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, they owned Winamp, which I remember Winamp was, like, the, hey, man, check this out. This is, like, a program you can put on your computer. You can listen to MP3s. I remember MP2s. I mean, that was the big thing on the internet. And then MP3s came along, it's like, better audio quality, lesser file size, that's amazing. It's like my brother got married like 2 years ago. And hey, Nimix. So yeah, my brother got married like 2 years ago, and we're having like the bachelor party. We're all hanging out, getting drunk at his place. It was a lot of fun. And okay, I just accidentally turned on a shader. Let's turn that off. I don't know what it does. Off. Yeah, there we go. Don't have to worry about that at all. Resume. So basically all we were doing is like we were talking like about all the crazy things that we grew up with. I mean, my brother was like 3 years younger than me. So we're talking about like dial-up internet, scrambled porn on cable, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff. And like my brother was there, my younger brother. Like I have two younger brothers. I have Chris who got married, and then I have my brother Tim who is like 15 years younger than me. We adopted. So so we're telling him this stuff, and my cousin was there too, was like around the same age. He's like a little bit older than my brother. So we were telling him all about like dial-up internet, all the screeching sounds you had to put up with in order to get connected to the internet, and the struggle just to get anywhere. Like if you wanted to download an MP3, like it wasn't like now you just fire up a torrent and download the entire album. If you wanted an MP3, you had to find a website that had the song you were looking for. Hope that the person encoded it wasn't a moron and it had it like, you know, full of errors or something like that. And then download it to your computer, which was like, could take 45 to 50 minutes to download on your computer for one song. It was like, they were just like totally blown away. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, and we sound like a bunch of old farts here just talking about just things that are like 20 years ago. Yeah, exactly. Then it's like you find out that it's not the right song. This is why you don't want to get hit by, like, accidentally fell down the hole. You want to get, like, into the fights with the dog things because they kill you faster. These guys just waste your time. Yeah, it's going to be faster to just restart this one here, to in-game reset it. Here we go. what was it? I'm trying to think of who had it. I know I have it saved. There was a funny video like talking about LimeWire. It cracked me up because it was literally like exactly what it was like back, like trying to like download songs off the internet and hoping you got the right one, and then finding out it's like Darude Sandstorm labeled that, but it's actually Stan by Eminem. You know, listen to this Metallica, all the crazy stuff. Watch this video, it'll crack you up. Alright, back to the fun of Mario RPG. Doing the quick level grind, which I know is kind of boring to watch, but this is speeding things up dramatically in the game. Okay, let's get her power up. Actually, let's see where do her health. Okay, speed it up. This is the only downside of doing this like on an actual Super Nintendo. It's like it takes a while for you to get killed. But of course you can speed it up here. But then again, we get to listen to Nier Automata's soundtrack gently in the background. Which is not only an amazing game, but an amazing soundtrack too. Alright, here we go. I'll do one more level, and then we'll go on. I just want to get Mario to like 19. Did you sacrifice your save at the end of the game, or did you have something happen to it? Hey, 19. Because I kept my save file, because they're like, you can sacrifice your save file and all your hard work, or you can, like, you know, keep it and be selfish. It's like, I will be selfish because there's so much more to this game I want to keep playing and explore and get. But I was surprised, like, because the game, it came out, I probably beat it in a week. Like, how many people had already sacrificed their save files and were, like, there to help me out at the end. I'm like, that's crazy. I also like when you pick the, like, the sacrifice, like, do you want to sacrifice your save to help other people? Like, it makes you confirm it, like, 5 or 6 times. There's no, like, I accidentally hit the button and accidentally wiped out my save. It's like, are you absolutely sure that you are aware of what you're doing here and pursuant to Article Section 4- subsection A, like, you are deleting your file? Like, they wanted to make sure, like, you knew that you were going to lose everything. Yeah. So at the end of Nier Automata, it gives you the option to basically sacrifice your save file. So what it does is it deletes everything. But it helps somebody else get through the ending of the game. So you have the option to do that, and your save file can go help somebody else who might be struggling to try to beat the end part of the game. But it wipes out your entire save file. It's like, it actually shows everything. Yeah, it's a bullet shooter, which is crazy. Like, Nier Automata is like half bullet shooter, half like platformer, like Bayonetta. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun though. I love it. It's like, it's not like your typical bullet hell, like, oh, there's a lot of things on the screen. This is like, there's 500 projectiles on the screen right now. It's like, it's each time you die, it starts you back further unless you get help, really. Pardon me. So, it's pretty cool, but it's like, when you pick, like, the option to delete it, the game's like, thank you for choosing to sacrifice to help others. And you actually watch, like, everything on your save file get deleted. It's like, it goes through and shows, like, all your items getting deleted one by one, then it goes to your weapons, shows those all getting deleted, map, everything. It's like, it takes its time to show you, like, here's everything you're losing, goodbye, boop. Time to ask Wursel. I hear the name Jack used in so many ways. How come they pick on Jack to make jokes of all things in life? Well, somebody's got to be it. I mean, for Jack, I mean, it's versatile. It's kind of like the F-bomb. You can also use Jack for lots of things. You know, like, it's a highly versatile word, so you might as well use that person to pick on it. Because, I mean, apparently, it's like you can use it to fit other things. Like, you can have to go into, like, non-family friendly things. You can have Jack shit. You can have Jack. Jack fuck all. Whatever. You know, it can be a verb, noun, pronoun, wherever you need it to be. So basically what it means is that the parents didn't know what to name their kid, so they kind of picked the default. Like, well, we're not sure what to really pick for the name. Let's use it. We'll give them Jake, because that can, or Jack, because that can just be used in any situation. If we forget his name, we'll just stub our toe, or lose our wallet, or anything there and have no money, and then we'll remember, oh man, I got Jack shit. Oh, remember his name now. Jack. Go cut the lawn. That's my reasoning behind it there. That's why I pick on them, because the parents were indecisive. That's the only explanation I got. Yeah, see, people like A2. I like 2B. Without spoiling anything about the game about anyone who wants to play Nier Automata still, which you need to play. Yeah, it's like 2B is... She was my waifu. I didn't like 9S, and then it turns out like he has this major role in the game. I'm like, oh man. A2 was cool though, but 2B was my she was my game waifu. Yes. Please, make me violate my try to keep it all PG related violated here. It's like, well, there's no way I can answer this question without swearing a couple times. Oh, I think Nimix is gonna fight you on that King Relic. He's gonna have virtual fisticuffs with you. Oh yeah, here comes. Morg's gonna get his Fist of Fury out. Alright, status. Okay, we're all good. We're gonna move on with the game now. So I'm going to do the normal level up, but we're gonna continue forward, so... Pop, pop. Wow, I actually ran out of time as a mid-falling animation. Alright, enough of that awesome soundtrack. We'll bring it back to the original game now. Here we go. So I don't have to fast forward anymore. Well, Morg does like Rosa. I mean, the best part of, like, he liked watching my Bayonetta 2 speedruns is when I had to restart, is that opening shot. That's right, so you can actually do this twice. I forgot all about it, so I've been doing it the long, slow way. So yeah, so what you're supposed to do is, like, that star part I was thinking, it's like, wait a minute, there's another part to do down here. And you hit this guy up for 400 coins, it gives you another star, run rampant, you can just double it up even faster, and I've been doing the slow, stupid way because I'm dumb. Give it to me. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Go crazy! It's like the game just stuck me right into the wall for a second. I'm like, game? Yeah! Hello! We get to fight him again. Such a lovely person. Thing, whatever he is. No, I forgot this place bleeds you for money. I should probably put all my stuff back on. I was like, yeah, I unequipped everything so I'd die faster. That can be a problem. I think we need true forms for him. Okay, so let's swap out Gino for Bowser. So I'm pretty sure I'm about to fight Balome, so for the second time. Alright, fine. What's my fortune? If you proceed through the pipe next door, it looks like you'll have a great meal sometime in the future. That time is now. Alright. Yay, frog coin! I get the experience ring finally. Sorry, not accepting visitors past my bedtime. Yay, now it'll let me through. RNG nonsense. Like, no, we'll just have them go up and do it again. Because I feel like it. Alright. Blow me down. I think he turns into a cannon? Yep. Never forget a taste. In fact, I can clone someone after just one slurp. No means no! Yes. No, Vegeta, no! Vegeta, yes! Oh man, I love Team 4 Stars Dragon Ball Z Abridged so much. Again? Okay, he's created another clone. Perfect. There's a speedrunner who actually showed off like the better way how to do this technique to get all like 100 jumps. I'll have to rewatch the video because she actually did it on stream with like having all the inputs, like controller inputs on the screen to see what she was doing. Because there's actually like a method you can do like for timing for input. She actually breaks it down like, because it actually does get to be like frame perfect, but there's a way you can like method for it you can get it almost every single time to do the 100 jumps. Hello again, this pipe is a shortcut to my home, Monstro Town. See you there. I mean, I could have like helped you get here to start with, but oh well. RPGs, where everyone's cool with you just, like, invading their homes. Like, home invasions are the norm. Welcome to Monstro Town, many of our kind mingle. The landlady! Star, you say? Well, Jinx is here in this town. See Carstar, she's upstairs. Feel free to go take a look for yourself. There we go. Get angry. But all around the world, the strangest person I met is this old geezer in Rosetown. Why, look, it's their Star! Which is the clue for another another song you can compose. To the right place, the treasure box will appear in thin air. Yes, I know, and I don't know where any of them are. 33 of them left in the game. Yeah, your star is terrible. Oh, star piece. Yeah, star bees? No. Come out here to search for a star piece. Must be really important. Lost place on land. If you can't find it here, the only place left is up. When I go there, you're an open book. Here's what you need to do. There's a secret passage to the sky at Bean Valley. First, you must scale the cliff beyond the desert to get there. Since you're such a nice guy, I'll introduce you to somebody that can help you. The Sky Troopers. Here they come. Yes, spoils our flying time, troops. 8.52 seconds. Reporting for duty. Yeah, speaking of like cooking with Monster Mama, if you haven't seen this yet, this is great. This is by a guy named Hugbees. He just basically redubbed like a little portion of the the Japanese Iron Chef duck battle. He does like a really good job. He sounds like the announcer and everything. We're 0.52 seconds late. Yes, basically he's gonna form platforms for me to climb up the cliff. And they time you at it too, so... Super jump is your specialty, right? Oval jumps are pretty amazing. Heard the record for consecutive jumps ends at 13. Jump more than 30 times in a row, I'll give you a prize. Yes. So this is the thing. It's like I hear a guy next door. He's mumbling about crystal this and evil that. Crystal, some kind of shiny rock or something. That's the secret boss for like the secret Final Fantasy boss. It's been sealed. Oh my, yes. Oh, I thought it was like, oh, it's the killer of my people, the one who crushes us. Goomba, what are you doing here? It's been ages, hasn't it? Sorry about going AWOL on you. I ran away because I was scared to fight Smithy. A lot has happened then, and like 4 hours ago that this all happened. He somehow had children. Got new troops. I'm gonna reclaim my castle. Go on with your life here. Oh, Bowser's getting soft. Yep, that is the secret boss in this game. King Relic is from Final Fantasy. Pretty much, it's like a Final Fantasy inspired boss. And he is like stupidly hard. Very, very, very hard. I think his name is like, yeah, it's Culex, C-U-L-E-X. And it's got some pretty cool music to it. Play just a portion of it here just a second. Here we go. You may recognize it. Final Fantasy IV music, which is awesome. That's what plays when you fight him too, so it's like, that is great. Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting the 100 jumps right away, Morg. Save state. Let's make sure my save states are working right, because they're kind of acting a little funny. Okay, they are. They're just running slow for whatever reason. Oops, wrong button. Sell items. Yeah, I'll never use it. What does a freshen up do? No idea. So let's equip Bowser. Then sell off his stuff. Courage shell, okay. Yes, it's like, it's a portable bidet you can summon in the middle of battle and just like totally disgust your enemies as you just do your business right in front of them. Look them in the eye for extra intimidation points while you do it too. Don't break eye contact, just stare them down. Feel free to rest here. Yes, I'm totally not gonna get haunted. Nice to meet you. I'm Greeper. Is that like the Grapist from like Whitest Kids You Know? I am the Big Boo. I'm Drybones. We're the three musty fears. He's sleeping. Check those bubbles coming out of his nose. That's kind of gross. Yes, have you guys ever seen the Grapist skit before? My Whitest Kids You Know? Because that is like legendary. Hey, you want to play around? Find the flag. We each had a flag somewhere around the world. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Find all 3 flags and you'll get an awesome prize. Go around and hide the flags, see when you get back. Good luck trying to find them because they're anywhere in the entire world. This is where having a strategy guide helps. Behind a wooden flower. Okay, I know where that's one to that. Rosetown. Under green bed. O and A. Flags are invisible. Search very carefully. You found the spot. Alright, let's see this. Yeah, Whitest Kids You Know. If you've never seen this show, it was crazy, but they pretty much ended it because they ran out of ideas. But here, we'll show off the skit real quick. Let's turn up the audio. We'll go full screen here real quick. Let's see. Desktop. Hopefully it should be loud enough. It might not be. Hold on.
Delicious fruity beverage.
Oh, that's good. Okay. I just wanted to make sure like it was loud enough.
You kids look like you could use a delicious fruity beverage.
Who are you?
Might I suggest Fizzy Pop's Grape Blast? The new soda from Johnson & Hedges.
Open wide, kids, because I'm going to grape you in the mouth.
He's going to what them in the mouth?
He's gonna grape them.
He's going to grape them.
Yeah, in the mouth.
Right.
Sure. There's more.
No, I'm sorry. All right, well, I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with the catchphrase, I'm gonna grape you in the mouth for our new mascot.
Yeah,
I mean...
We're just not sure about that one.
Yeah, we might want to workshop it a touch.
Really? Why? That's his thing. He grapes people. He grapes people in the mouth.
We're just not exactly sure that
He sneaks into little kids' rooms in the middle of the night, and he grapes them in the mouth.
Okay, see, because I think that the reason that I'm a little hesitant is because to me, it sounds like he's saying, he's going to rape them.
What? Oh, no. No. What? Oh.
I'm sorry,
Sir, get your mind out of the gutter. He's a grape. How is a grape gonna rape a kid? What are you talking about?
But it sounds like
it's a grape commercial, sir.
I love it. He, like, grapes the kids.
Okay, I mean, if I'm in the minority here, we can
I love how crazy this show got.
Come here, kids. I'm going to tie you to the radiator and grape you.
Okay.
What? Why'd you stop it?
I'm gonna tie you to the radiator and grape you?
What?
I'm going to rape you! No, that's what it sounds like he's saying.
I love it.
Really?
Are you back on this rape thing again?
Why was he gonna tie them to a radiator?
That's how he grapes people. That's what he does.
No!
He's the grapist.
The grapist? That's his name?
The Grapist. Classic.
This is obviously a rape scenario.
What? Why are you trying to twist a children's soda commercial into your weird, sick, sort of twisted, pervy...
Why were they running? Why was that child screaming mom?
Well, that kid is a horrible actor, and the next time we shoot the commercial, we're gonna use somebody else, because the thing is...
These kids were obviously horrified.
Not that girl. Look, she's totally asking for it.
What?
Look at her. She's begging to get graped.
Will you listen to yourself?
Look what she's wearing.
Look what she's wearing?
It's purple.
Oh. Okay. No! No! No!
Grape those kids! I love it!
Look, do you guys want the commercial or not?
Yes, we want the commercial. Of course we want the commercial.
We
It's
want it. Here's the paperwork.
I just have some serious reservations about this whole thing.
Do you mind?
No, not at all.
Buy some today and get a free grape whistle.
A grape whistle? Really?
Okay, when I finish graping you, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna grape your mother and your father, and then I'm gonna take your whole family down to the basement and grape you all for decades and decades.
See,
and
I think this is too much.
decades.
I think it's too much.
I love that show, just how messed up it was all the time. Oh, as kids, you know, they stopped the show because they ran out of material. All right, it's like Trevor was like literally like, we ran out of funny things to say. Oh yes, it's the entire show was mostly like that. It was crazy. Like one of my other favorite skits they did was making fun of like how the History Channel has gone so far away from like history. It was like dinosaurs in the Civil War. It's like some guy's like, I left tenure at Harvard to come here for this to work at this network. It's like I gave him such a good job for this. It's like dinosaurs were like, I had to speak up. Dinosaurs did not exist in the Civil War. It's like dinosaurs existed, just not at the same time. Like, oh, we can do that. All right. Oh, it's a save point. Okay, so it's like, wait a minute, remember there's something in the hole there. Thanks for coming by. Okay, that's the exit of the town. We need to go upstairs. Jinx is up here. Okay. Who is it? Sorry, but Sensei isn't in. Oh my gosh. So is it Jagger or a Jaeger? I'm not sure. Haven't seen you so long. It's been 4 hours. I've been studying here at the dojo under Sensei Jinx because, to tell you the truth, I knew I couldn't beat Smithy. Make you proud. Jaeger? Jaeger? Jagger? Don't worry about me. I got new troopers now. We're gonna take back my castle. Yeah, it's that guy. Sure. Like it starts out with a sucker punch. That's great. It's like, sure, I'll fight you, sucker punch. Ultra jump. And nothing in that. That's great. Alright, let's try Ultra Flame then. Okay, so he's like impervious to like Mario's magic attacks and jumps for some reason. But like everything else seems to like work on him. Let's try just a normal attack. Yeah, so like normal attacks are doing more than enough, but nice. I guess that was to be expected. You're a top-notch fighter. Did well for your inexperience. You? Sensei, have you been here all along? You felt my ki, didn't you? Not bad for a novice. That was another classic one. That was like season 1. Hello, that one, Ronnie. Your fighting style isn't as foolproof as you think. I accept a challenge any day. The other one I also like was the whiskey Supersize Me. That was great. It's like, I'm gonna do Supersize Me with whiskey. Instead of eating, like he's just drinking, getting drunk all the time, just keeps getting worse and worse. Alright, I'm gonna totally get my butt kicked here. I'm betting this is probably gonna do another big fat nothing, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, 'cause I introduced, like, Wise Kids You Know to, like, my college class group I was with, and, like, majority of them had never heard of it before. And the one they liked the most was the truth behind, like, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. So, like, this is exactly what happened here, but the things were covered up, because the real history was just too embarrassing. Because I underestimated you, you packed quite a punch. I'll go to your head because I will let you have that round. Let's have a rematch. Okay, you mean like right now, or later on? I'm not quite too sure about this. Yeah, like the inspiration of like why Trent like writes all his music for 9 Inch Nails. Thanks to 9 Inch Nails, my brother thinks I have a superpower. My brother Chris, the one who got married. They said we're all hanging out at his place. We're drinking Johnny Walker Blue Label, big giant bottle of it, which is like some of the best I've ever had. And it's like he has like some kind of music streaming service on. I think it might have been Spotify or something. And like I hear like the opening beats to Only, like dun-dun-dun. Like I go, oh, 9 Inch Nails Only. He's like, how would you know that was like 3 beats of a snare drum? It's like, this is like a superpower. This is amazing. He was like going on ranting for like 30 seconds. Like, I've heard the song and recognized it's not that amazing. You're just incredibly drunk right now. Yeah, it's like, it's got that classic drums to it. It's like, you hear that, it's like, okay, I know what this is. $19. Wow, Gino with the clutch. And then he's gonna destroy me. Let's do it. Wow, Gino survived that. I'm impressed. Basically, you just have to like keep coming back, and like the stronger you get, it's just like another chrono trigger mechanic, like end of time. I think it's Seppico is the guy's name. It's like the guy who teaches you magic. You also keep fighting him as he gets stronger and stronger throughout the game. Aha, timed that one right. I screwed that one up like a 12. Negate that one again. I don't know what it is like with Gino, but it's like second like fatal attack I've managed to negate. Again, jeez. There we go. Your weak point is you have put enough training time. Go stronger, come back after you level up. Okay, cool. Okay, moving on. Does it take me back to the sewers? Does it take me up to the cliff? Nope. Oh, so I gotta go back to Land's End. Pretty sure this is where I need to be. I think, I mean, I could be completely wrong about this, so totally not checking up a walkthrough or anything. Oh, okay. I just need to go back to, like, Balloon Temple. I hear you up there, Keiko. What are you doing up there in the window well? Hey! Cat's in my window well watching me. It's like, hey, I'm up here. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, exactly. He's breaking my butt. Goes on forever. It's like, yeah, it was too embarrassing to tell the whole nation, so we have this whole other story about it. I think it was another History Channel spoof, too. Don't tell me I need to go... I probably need to do the whole invisible flag thing, I'm guessing, maybe? Let's take a look. Nope. Okay. Yeah, this is part of the game where it's like, it gets very kind of like, it reminds me more of like Sierra games where it's like, you just gotta stumble around and hopefully you can find where you need to be. There we go. It's like, please give me the right one so I can continue forward. It's almost there. The key gets knocked over a little more every time. There it is. Ugh. Now I can go back there. I have to get the one where it says, like, oh, I'm not wanting any visitors right now. It's my bedtime. And then you get the key. You can go past. Finally. Nope. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, T-Walls, this is where it gets really tedious, and like I said, it doesn't really tell you where to go each time. It's like you just gotta hopefully stumble through it or look up a guide. The key you have there looks pretty tasty. Give him the key! Next mushroom. Okay. I had to read to see what I needed to do. I'm like, yeah, I would have been lost for a little longer. And getting lost does not make for a good stream. This is like, well, we need to pad out the game a little bit. How do we do that? Make it obtuse as possible. Missions to scale a cliff by jumping shell to shell. This is where isometric 3D is a real pain in the butt. Try to judge depth. You don't really have any. Yeah! "24 seconds. Not bad for a civilian. I think I used to be able to get it like 13. Bean Valley, here we go. Make sure I have antidote pins on. Alright, Nimics. See you next time. Thanks for hanging out, as always. I'm just gonna be wrapping it up in a little bit myself. I just want to see if I can get past this part. I'm sure there's something like really good down one of these pipes. Question is, do I want to go through all 6 of them? Not right now. Please stop watering your plants of death. Recycled water. I want to know really what cycled from, really. Recycled from. It's called Miracle Grow. There we go. Oh, great. So a true form pin is what I would have needed. So now I'm stuck here just slowly healing. Can't do anything. Let's speed this up. So when am I gonna get a Bayonetta run accepted at GDQ or ESA? Probably never, unfortunately, just the way my back is. I would like to. I mean, I've been wanting to do Bayonetta 2 forever, but unfortunately the way my back is, I'm unable to work, so don't have money to go to GDQ, do all that, and I know Kappa's trying to get in and get Bayonetta 2 himself in, so even though I've wanted to do it for years, but it's just probably never going to happen for me, unfortunately. Probably the way things are going, I'd probably have better luck with Bayonetta 3 whenever that comes out. What's the matter, Keiko? Why are you up there? Just watch the screen like, what are you playing? This is a pain in the butt because, like, I can't do anything right now. I'm, like, stuck. There we go, finally. Jeez. You're alright, Keiko. Alright, let's jump on this guy, crush him. Oh no, not again. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Speed this up. Hey, Gino's up. Alright, cool. There we go. It's like, please die, because I know Flame Wall is like one of the last attacks it does. Look what you did. Simlac's been whacked. Oh, I'm gonna get it. Queen Valentina told me to keep everyone out of Nimbus Land. What should I do? I know, run away! Good job. Alright. So hopefully that guy should still be gone. He is, perfect. Something note there I saw in the background as I was going down the pipe. It's a seed. Sure, we'll take it. It's a magical beanstalk. I think this is... yeah, it's like a platforming climb up. Finally, we can learn the origins of Gino's family, his parents, where he comes from, and everything. Mario, let go. Mario, yeah, listen to me. There we go. How to climb the vines. Yeah, I knew. It's like I couldn't get off of one. Alright, with that... we have reached the end of the stream for today. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours, quite a long time for me, but a little beat. Had to get up pretty early, but it was pretty cool. So thanks for hanging out. Definitely do appreciate it. So might take tomorrow off. Thinking about it there, rest up there. Sunday looks like it's going to be a stream with Nimix as well. We're going to be playing a game he's been really hyped up for. But I do stream at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know when that is, just type that into Google and it will tell you from wherever you are in the world. You can also check me out on Twitter at Wurzel555 if you're not following me already. For whatever reason, that's fine. I post up there usually 2 to 3 hours in advance if I'm going to be streaming, or if I need to delay it for whatever reason. I post up there so you can all be informed of what's going to happen. Holy crap, over 25,000 likes. This is insane. Okay, so next time, like I said, will be probably most likely be Sunday. We'll be streaming a game that Nimix wants to play, and we'll see how long that goes on for and see if we play anything else at that point. But, yep, that's what's going on at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, looks like that's it for now. So thanks for hanging out, and see you guys next time.